Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Retro Video Games Pickups. I have some pickups, but I'm going to do something a little different this week. I'll do a pickup video in 2 or 3 days, and they'll be up, this time I'm going to do my favourite games in my personal collection. Now these aren't games that are the best games, obviously. I don't have every single game of every console. So for each format I've got like Sega Saturn, Sony PlayStation, NES, Master System, Mega Drive. I've tried to choose one game out of all my games that that I think is the best in my collection. So let's get to it, guys. I'll show you the games that I think are the best. Alright guys, we'll start with NES. Now I never had a Nintendo when I was growing up. I mean, I didn't even know there was a Super Nintendo till I seen one in store, and I had the Mega Drive for a good 12 months before that. And I never even knew the NES existed until probably later in my life, probably late teens, and I started getting into a lot more games and stuff. But out of my whole collection of my NES games, I've got probably all up maybe 30. I have Zelda 1 and 2. I have Mega Man, Street Gangs, and a few others. But I chose this game, Super Mario 3. This is one of those games that just doesn't get old. I mean, for the NES, or the Famicom, it is one of the best graphically, in my personal opinion, on the NES. It's just one of those games, like, you just put it in and you just want to play it. Just everything about it, the graphics, the sound, the platform, the way it's all set up. Yeah guys, it's just, I don't know, it's just one of those games that it will forever be one. You know, it's just, you can pick up and play and not think it's, 30 years old. The only problem, obviously, with this, you cannot save. So, yeah, it's one of those things, if you can't get very far in it, you may as well turn it off and use an emulator. So yeah, guys, that's my favourite game on the Famicom or NES, Super Mario Brothers 3. I'm just going to go no particular order at all. My favourite game on the Sega Mega CD. I have about 20 or so Sega Mega CD games, and this would have to be my favourite. I've been wanting for this for ages, and I've had it for a while now, but Sonic CD. I'm a huge Sonic fan, guys. This is one of those games that will forever be in my childhood, especially Sonic 1. It's just, yeah, I don't even know what to say. It's just Sonic. It's like Mario. If you're a Nintendo fan, Mario is Mario. There's nothing much. It's the best, man. So yeah, Sonic CD is my favourite Mega CD game out of my whole collection. So yeah, enjoy, guys. Sony PlayStation. Now this was a hard one. I have quite a few Sony PlayStation 1 games. I have Crash. I have Time Crisis, Tekken, a few others as well that it probably could be in my favourite. It was pretty hard, but I chose Driver. I chose Driver because I still play this game to this very day, and I finished it back in the day. I have this in digital format on my PlayStation 3 and on my PSP. I have it on Sony PlayStation as well, obviously. And it's just one of those games that was sort of the start of a GTA 3D. I mean, obviously it wasn't done by Rockstar, but you know what I mean. It was basically, this was the start of it all. It's just one of those games, guys, where it was just an awesome game. The way, the setting, the cars, the control, the missions, just everything. How you got all your missions from a what do you call it? An answer machine. So yeah, guys, that's my favourite Sony PlayStation game in my collection. Favorite N64 game? This is quite easy, this pick. I don't have a huge... I sold off about 11 N64 games just recently. I don't play the N64 much. I've just basically got a decent collection of cart-only games and a couple of box games. I do have 007, GoldenEye, and a few other decent ones, but I had to choose Ocarina of Time. This is just one of those N64 games. Like, I haven't touched these hardly. I've got it on 3DS, and I'm probably about halfway through, but I haven't played it in a while, and I've just lost where I am, so I'll probably have to start again. But you know, I can't. There's nothing I can really say about this game. The Ocarina of Time would have to be, in my opinion, the best game on the N64. Like Majora's Mask, it was a good game, but I don't think it was good as Ocarina of Time. So yeah guys, that's my favourite N64 game in my personal collection. Favourite Super Nintendo or Super Famicom game? Now this was a toss-up. This was a toss-up between Super Metroid and the game I'm just about to show you. The reason why I chose F-Zero is because I still play this so much it's not funny. It's basically nearly stuck in my Super Nintendo. It is probably, in my opinion, one of the best racing games ever. I mean, graphically, you know, it's losing its age and stuff, but man, this game is so addictive, it's not funny. Just everything from about the start, where it makes that boo sound, to the music, to the tracks, and it gets really hard later on. So yeah guys, that's my favourite game, my favourite SNES game. Dreamcast, obviously, some of you guys who watch my videos are gonna know what my favourite Dreamcast game is, because I've said it a few times, but Crazy Taxi, I told you I had it on Dreamcast. Yeah, I like my last video when I picked it up for PS2. It's just one of those games that I used to have so much fun with, man. Like, this game used to impress everyone before the PS2 came out, but sadly, the PS2 just kicked ass too much. Yeah, it's just one of the music, you know. Well, who was the music? Fuck, I can't think. Oh man, I've just lost complete and utter control of my brain. But you guys should know what the music was. I should have did a bit of research. Fuck. I want to know what it is, but I can't remember. Doesn't matter. So, anyway guys, that's my favourite Dreamcast game in my collection. Ooh, there's a few games here guys, because I've got quite a few. Sega Saturn. Now, I have quite a few Japanese Sega Saturn games, which are completely I don't know how to read Japanese, so I can't understand them at all. But I've got a few. I've got Road Rash. I got Alien Trilogy. I love that game. Virtua Racing, not so good, but what else have I got? That's about it. Good games. Virtua Fighter 2. It's a decent fighter. Gal Racer, which is basically Rad Racer. But guys, I chose my favourite Sega Saturn game in my collection. I chose the Virtua Cop series. Now, I used to play this in the arcade nearly every time. There used to be an arcade in Southport here on the Gold Coast, in the main street in Scarborough Street, and I used to sit there and watch guys play Killer Instinct and kick ass. But I used to always go to the Virtua Cop machine. I used to love this game. I still do. I still play it occasionally. It's just one of those on-rail shooters that, I mean, it doesn't get old. It does not get old. I mean, it's very repetitive. Like, if you can't, it's not one of those games you can play over and over again, because it's an on-rail shooter. The second one, you do get to choose powers and stuff. I think the first one you do too. I can't remember. This also came out on the Dreamcast with better graphics. So, guys, that is my favourite Sega Saturn game in my personal collection. Only a few more to go. My favourite Vita game. I don't have many Vita games. I've got 7 Vita games. I got the Metal Gear Solid collection. I've got Need for Speed Most Wanted. A few others, nothing great. But I had to choose Uncharted. Because the main reason is because I love this game with a passion. I'm a huge single player fan. I do not play the multiplayer of Uncharted at all. I do not touch it. I hate it with a passion. But the single player of these games is some of the best single player story games ever. Even on the Vita, they obviously, Naughty Dog didn't make this, but obviously, you know, the devs that did make it, obviously talked to Naughty Dog because the story is brilliant. And I finished all the Uncharted's. So you guys, that's my favourite Vita game in my collection. My favourite Wii game. This is a hard one. This was a hard one. I don't have a great deal of Vita games. I've got probably nearly 20 Wii games. Not Vita, I said Vita then. I'm talking Wii. Yeah, but I chose Resident Evil, The Dark Side Chronicles. Purely because, like I've told you in my last video when I picked up Lethal Enforcers, I love gun games, man. Like on-rail shooters, I just don't know what it is about them. It's like, it's just one of those things. And I don't have a lot. I don't have a lot of gun games. I've probably got only maybe 8 all up on all the different formats. So, it's just Resident Evil. I love Resident Evil. You'll find out when I get my 3DS. Favorite game in my collection. I'll show you that one as well. But yeah guys, that's my favorite Wii game. As just mentioned, my favorite 3DS game. Now this is quite hard because I have the Ocarina of Time, but I didn't want to double up on the 3DS. I also got a couple of the old DS Zelda games. I got Rayman 3D, Sonic Generations, not Kid Icarus, and that's probably about it. The decent games. I got Pilot Wings Resort as well. But I chose Resident Evil Revelations. For the pure fact, this is the only game I've actually finished on the 3DS. When I bought this game, it was probably my first game that I bought for the 3DS. I got stuck right into it and I finished it twice. So you guys, that's my favourite 3DS game in my collection. My favourite PSP game in my collection. I have about, I don't know, just over 20 or so PSP games. I don't really pick much up on PSP. I don't really find much. There's nothing really else I want on the PSP. But I chose Castlevania The Dracula X Chronicles. I picked this up a bargain at Big W. I think it was about $15. It's actually can go for quite a bit of money now. I'm not very good at this game. I can't get very far in it. But it's Castlevania, and one of my goals on the Mega Drive is to get one of the Castlevanias, but I'm not going to pay $200 for it. There's no way in the world. If I can find a repo, I'll probably try and pick one of those up. Yeah guys, that's my favourite PSP game. I don't know what else. I haven't played this in a long time, so I can't really tell you much about it, except it's Castlevania, you know. It's basically a side-scroller. Just the music, the story, and everything. But it's basically an enhanced version of Dracula X Rondo of Blood. It's all here on the back. All new 3D backgrounds and characters, classic Castlevania action, discover its secret items and hidden routes. Bonus features, original version of Dracula X Rondo of Blood and Castlevania the Symphony of the Night, which I have not opened yet, obviously because it's not in the main menu, so I didn't even know that. It's got the Symphony of Night on it. Well, there you go. I haven't played it enough to find out. So, that's my favourite PSP game, guys. My favourite PS2 game. This was very hard. I have probably nearly 100 PS2 games. And some of them I still play with a passion, like, not Grand Theft Auto, Gran Turismo. Yeah, I don't know. Was pretty hard. In the end, I had to choose one, and I chose The Getaway. I'm a big fan of this game. The second one, not so much. I actually like the story on this one better. I mean, the controls were pretty awkward on this. They weren't very good. But this game was sort of a change, I think, in... I I'm really sad they never made a third one. I mean, they really should bring out another one on the PS4. It's just the way this game things were done. Like if you wanted to get, you were dying and bleeding and stuff. It wasn't just you stood there or sat behind a crate or whatever and you'd heal. You'd actually have to lean up against a wall, like sit up against a wall, and you'd heal like that. It was very well done. I mean, it is a pretty frustrating game. The controls are really bad. But if you're into gangster type games, especially UK gangster, like, do yourself a favour. If you don't know who the Cray brothers are, look them up. This is basically what I think they based this game off. The Cray brothers, or the Cray twins, were twins, obviously. They were in the UK. They were full big time gangsters in I'm not sure if it was the 50s or 60s. But yeah, guys, The Getaway. That's my favourite PS2 game in my collection. My favourite Xbox game. Again, this is quite hard. I don't play the Xbox that much. I mainly play the emulators on the Xbox. But I had to choose at least one game, and I chose Shenmue 2. There's no reasoning behind this. This is just a classic game. I don't even know what to say. Like, I never ended up finishing this on, I don't think, on the Dreamcast. I finished the first one multiple times. But if you're into RPG type games, this game is really slow. Shenmue has a love-hate audience. They've got the people that go spastic over it and love it 110%. But then you got the haters say it's too slow, you walk around, the dialogue's shit, all that kind of stuff. But that's what Shenmue was. It was just poor dialogue, and it just made the game. It really did. I think they really did that on purpose. Yu Suzuki is just brilliant. And if they ever bring out a Shenmue 3, I'm going to buy myself 2 copies. I'm going to buy myself a copy to play and buy myself a copy just to have sealed. So yeah, guys, that was my favourite Xbox game in my collection. Oh, my favourite. Now, this was hard. You guys know I pick up a lot of Sega Master System. This was pretty hard. In the end, I had 2 choices. Alright, Alex Kidd in Miracle World. See, I have a box version of Alex Kidd in Miracle World. And Wonder Boy. In the end, I chose Wonder Boy. Because this game never gets old. It's a simple platform game. That's everything about it. It's basically arcade perfect. But besides a few minor things, obviously the Sega Master System wasn't as powerful as the arcade version. There's a few small things that aren't the same, but basically this is a perfect arcade version of Wonder Boy on the Sega Master System. Nintendo fans will argue that Adventure Island is better and was out before, but do some research if you're a Nintendo fan. This was out well before Adventure Island had ever been thought of. And I don't know what the go with copyright was back then, but I don't see how a Sega company can make this game and then Nintendo can bring out Adventure Island and not get sued. Maybe there was a deal there between Sega and Nintendo, so Sega could make some money off Nintendo. But yeah, guys, that is my favourite Sega Master System game. And last but not least, my favourite Mega Drive game. Now, this was, I wouldn't say hard. I was a big fan of the Road Rash series. I got Road Rash 1, 2 and 3. I've got Sonic 3. I've got Sonic 1. I've got Sonic 2. I have quite a Sonic and Knuckles. Mickey Mania. I have the Mega Man game, the Mega Man Repo card that I showed in a gameplay vid just recently. In the end, Golden Axe. I spent hours on this on the arcade. Again, Sega, back in the day, this is why Sega sold consoles. Not because of this game, but because of their arcade ports. Okay, Nintendo with the NES was huge worldwide, but when Sega brought out a arcade port on their 8-bit or 16-bit machine, it was basically a near arcade convert. I used to live in a caravan park type thing when I was young, and I used to go to the shop and they used to have this in the shop, and used to pump 20 cents after 20 cents after 20 cents into the machine just to finish this game. So when did I get my Mega Drive? When I was about 18, I think I bought this for the Mega Drive. And the good thing about the Mega Drive version, it includes one extra stage. So the arcade version was quite short, only included 5 stages, I think, 5 or 6 stages. But this has one extra stage, which makes it, it gives it a bit extra length and more replayability. But yeah, guys, that's my favorite Sega Mega Drive Sega Mega Drive game in my collection. And that's it. That is all. I could have done Xbox 360 and PS3 or PS4, but I decided not to. Decided to leave it for a few of the older consoles. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I have some pickups. I've got some Xbox and PS2 games, but I'll show them in another video in a few days. Hopefully I'll find some time to do that. And yeah, see you next video, guys. See ya. Bye.